Oh no!
Before we start the video, let's play a little game. Hit like, subscribe and that notification bell. Because it's you and me versus the YouTube algorithm.
Okie dokie.
Thanks. Now let's go into the video. It seems like the whole Nintendo community has something to say about an upcoming Nintendo Direct. It would be 2 weeks ago, it would be last week. Is it coming at all? It's like everyone is losing their minds. It's crazy. It's Nintendo, so this calls for Nintendo Maniac to join the party. First off, why is Nintendo expected to hold a Direct? Well, there are leaks, but it's impossible to confirm those leaks. Actually, a lot of those leaks are no doubt just based on a fact. And that's actually a quite important fact. It is that Nintendo has held a Nintendo Direct every year in September since they started their Directs. Okay, except for 2015. But even last year they held one. It just makes sense they keep this going. It's clearly working for them. Another reason for people to think a Nintendo Direct would have come this last week was Monolith's announced maintenance of their website. Such an announcement is unusual, as websites go down more often for maintenance without any announcements. So was Monolith Soft preparing for something special, which would have been announced? Or still has to be announced? September is also a perfect time to ask attention for all what Nintendo will have to offer for the holiday season. They can showcase their releases without stepping on their own campaigns. And perhaps that's why we haven't seen their Direct yet. They were fully marketing WarioWare Get It Together. Also, Sony had their showcase last Thursday, which could have stolen their thunder. So it's reasonable to expect a Nintendo Direct soon. Possibly this upcoming week. It will steal Sony's thunder and leave enough time afterwards to fully commit to their Metroid Dread campaign. Okay, so what can we expect from a Nintendo Direct then? I won't spend time talking about already announced releases. It's much more exciting to make predictions on things unannounced. So however much I love updates on these releases, I won't talk about Breath of the Wild 2, Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3, nor will I talk about the final Smash Bros. Character, however exciting those subjects are. So, first rumor or leak that I think is very likely is adding Game Boy, Game Boy Color and possibly Game Boy Advance games to Nintendo Switch Online. It just makes sense. Nintendo Switch Online library can use a boost by now, as it's been a while. Furthermore, a lot of subscriptions will end soon, and Nintendo will have to motivate people to renew their subscriptions, with old games to play and relive. Adding Nintendo 64 games to Nintendo Switch Online, however, makes less sense to me. The Game Boy library is huge, and should provide for a lot of new games already. Also, some games get re-released, either ported with visual improvements or totally updated. There's good money to be made with this, as development process is normally a lot shorter and less costly, and you already have a fanbase for these games. For a lot of Nintendo 64 titles, this is still an option, and adding these games to Nintendo Switch Online library might just cost them potential sales for any games they want to bring to the Switch. Before I continue talking about game releases, there's something that surprised many of us. Being that Big Brain Academy was recently announced for the same day as Advance Wars 1 and 2, being December 3rd. It just makes me feel like there is something in store before Christmas. Otherwise, why would they not release Big Brain Academy a week before or after? No, I think there's still something coming in December. Now, could there be a Zelda remake? That's something has been rumored the last few months. We hear remakes of the Oracle games, with or without the dropped third version, maybe Twilight Princess or Wind Waker, but also remakes of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Personally, I expect the Oracle games to come Nintendo Switch Online already, which makes a great attraction for many of us Zelda fans, so it doesn't feel like the right time to give these a Link's Awakening treatment. As for Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, they already got their HD remakes on the Wii U. If you're Nintendo, Would you re-release the same games over and over again for the next console, while not doing the same for other games of the series? I wouldn't, and I doubt many of you would disagree. It makes more sense to give some love to Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Yes, they have been re-released for the 3DS, but those are handheld releases. They're not HD remakes you can enjoy on the big screen. With the 35th anniversary of Zelda still on, and many of us feeling let down by Nintendo on this celebration, I'm hoping for a release shortly before Christmas this year for Ocarina of Time and or Majora's Mask. A Donkey Kong release was also discussed by some. Somehow it doesn't feel like the right time. It's a Nintendo Classic series and it does deserve to get a new entry. But doing that in the year of Zelda 35th anniversary, when you already tried to reboot WarioWare and Advance Wars, it just doesn't stick with me. It rather feels like this is something Nintendo might bring forth next year. Also, Super Mario Odyssey 2 is not something I expect right now. I'm looking for reasons to believe why an announcement would come for a December release, or reasons to believe leaks. There's just nothing to make me think this is the right moment for a new big Mario game. It would create a lot of buzz, something Nintendo would want to enjoy for a long time, and so should announce it long in advance. So if anything, if a big Mario title would be announced, and I highly doubt it, it's not for December this year, but then for 2022 or beyond. What about the new Mario Kart? Considering the current version is not a totally new game, but a remake of the Wii U Mario Kart, this has been the longest period without a new one being released. You could say it's time, and I agree. If Nintendo would announce Mario Kart for December or next year, it wouldn't totally surprise me. But on the other hand, we haven't really heard anything about one either. So, thinking of the other options available, I'll say no new Mario Kart announcement yet, but perhaps next year. I already mentioned the maintenance of Monolith's website, which leads to Xenoblade. It was already leaked before that Monolith is working on a new Xenoblade game, and now the maintenance is done, so the game can be announced. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Otherwise, we fans got trolled by Monolith badly. No, there just has to be a new Xenoblade coming for 2022, and now's the time to announce it. That, or a Xenoblade Chronicles X remake? It's just a thought I have, that perhaps they want to bring that game to Nintendo Switch, update it to match Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, and who knows, some extra story added to it. Maybe, maybe not, but Monolith, come on. Give us a Xenoblade announcement for 2022. So in short, my predictions. Nintendo will add the Game Boy and Game Boy Color library to Nintendo Switch Online, but will baffle us with a surprise Zelda announcement for a remake of Ocarina of Time, and maybe Majora's Mask for the Nintendo Switch in time for Christmas, and a Xenoblade ready to be delved in next year. What do you think? Which predictions make sense, which are obviously wrong, and which games did I miss? Let me know in the comments down below, I'll read all of them. When, or if, Nintendo comes with their Direct, I plan to have a look at how good my predictions were, and perhaps you were more correct than me. Thank you so much for watching. It takes a lot of time and effort to create even a simple video like this, but it's a lot of fun and I hope you enjoyed it too. If so, click that like button and I hope you subscribe. I'll see you soon.